Good morning. Let's get your Monday started off right. As most of you know, I'm so tired of feelings driving a narrative when feelings have no place driving any narratives. Facts should drive a narrative, and nowhere has this dichotomy and this injustice been more apparent than in the narrative surrounding Jimmy Garoppolo. People like to attack this issue with their feelings. I don't know why. I have theories as to why. I'm not going to get into them because we're going to be talking about facts here. But Jimmy Garoppolo has been top level efficient for the 49ers this year, especially over the last 7 weeks or so since week 8. Since he returned to Chicago, he's been at the very top of the league. If you don't believe me, well, then you probably haven't been following me. But we can demonstrate what I mean. Since week 8, when the 49ers offense turned it around, expected points added per drop back. Aaron Rodgers is number 1. Jimmy Garoppolo is number 2. Then it's a massive gap, and you have Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, and Mac Jones. If you want to do the full season, well, Garoppolo's number 3 behind Matt Stafford. We're going to see play this week, so maybe he'll pass Stafford. Maybe Stafford will build his lead. I don't care. What I know is that Garoppolo's in the top 5, and I will continue to present the facts as they are without the feelings involved. I don't care if you don't like Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't care if your feelings are hurt because Trey Lance never had a chance to start this season and you were duped into thinking that you did. I don't care if you're still emotional about the Super Bowl loss in 2019. I don't care if you're jealous of Jimmy Garoppolo for whatever reason. The facts are the facts, and it is his job to be efficient within the context of the 49ers offense, and that's exactly what he's doing. Garoppolo has also been very accurate this season, and this is where we can take a look at our efficiency table that is combined with the accuracy metric. This is on Ben Baldwin's website, and Ben does a great job distributing this data and really packaging it in a way that allows us to visualize where quarterbacks are relative to each other. So x-axis is accuracy, completion percentage over expectation, and y-axis is efficiency. So the goal is to be as far to the right and as high up on this graph as possible. Aaron Rodgers is having a fantastic season in the LaFleur system. He's at the very top right. Jimmy Garoppolo is approaching that, though. Jimmy Garoppolo is where you want to be. There are big names that are not in as good a position as Jimmy Garoppolo. That's Patrick Mahomes. That's Tom Brady, Justin Herbert, Stafford, all guys having good years, but Garoppolo is right there in the midst of all of them. So, people are going to jump in now and they're going to say asinine stuff like, oh, the run game carries the 49ers, or, oh, he can't throw 40 times a game. All of this stuff has been disproven. So if you want me to get to the main 2 points, I could start with those. As far as the run game goes, the 49ers ground attack relies on Jimmy Garoppolo as much as Jimmy Garoppolo relies on them. That is the sport of football. It's complementary. You have to have both to be a championship caliber team. And guess what? When you look at how good Jimmy Garoppolo has been on 3rd downs and 4th downs too, if we go back to the Rams game against Deebo Samuel, you begin to understand that the 49ers formula of rushing at volume relies on a quarterback delivering passing efficiency at key junctures. If you don't deliver when the defense is expecting you to pass, and Garoppolo's been good in pass obvious situations, then you never get a chance to run 40 times a game or run 34 times a game as the 49ers did on Sunday against the Falcons. So I think that's very easily disproven. And the second point, oh, he can't throw more than 40 times a game and win. Well, that was black and white disproven against Cincinnati when the 49ers had 41 passes and they still won the game. In 2017, the 49ers had to have Jimmy Garoppolo throw an average of 35.6 times per game, and they went 5-0 over that 5-game stretch. The point is that you don't want your quarterback, regardless of what team you're on, to be throwing over 30 times or over 35 times or over 40 times per game. That's just not a sustainable formula anywhere in the NFL, and no team understands this more than the 49ers, who build their brand on this. Laughter and bruises. The 49ers offense has a formula, and it shined against Atlanta. The 49ers are out to dish out punishment. They want to do it through the ground game and through yards after the catch. and to dish out punishment, to shield their defense, to play ball control. Passing 30 plus times a game, passing 35 plus times a game, or even more is not part of that formula. Sure, sometimes things don't go according to plan, so you have to adapt. And when that's happened this season, Garoppolo's actually played well. Against Arizona in the second game, it wasn't his fault that they lost. And against Cincinnati, when he had to throw 41 times, they actually won. But the truth of the matter is that schematic realities dictate so much of how much Garoppolo throws and where Garoppolo throws. We have so many, I call them fake smart arguments. It's fake smart. People want to sound smart, but actually don't know what they're talking about. And usually the dog whistles and the fake smart arguments are you can't throw out to the numbers and something about air yards, blah, 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 air yards. Well, since week 8, Garoppolo ranks number 7 in the NFL in air yards per attempt. So he's throwing the ball further down the field than most quarterbacks in the league while he's been at the top efficiency-wise. So you don't hear people talking about air yards anymore. Now they're trying to bust out that he can't throw outside the numbers. Well, if you put on some game tape, he's throwing outside the numbers a lot, frequently. And he makes really good deep out passes outside the numbers. Brandon Ayuk against Seattle in that drive where the 49ers came up short comes to mind. A number of plays against Cincinnati. Juwan Jennings in overtime, perfect back shoulder throw. That was outside the numbers. I mean, these criticisms just don't align with what's actually happening. He's using the whole field. And if defenses were so convinced that Garoppolo couldn't throw outside the numbers, then why is the stuff over the middle open? I mean, guys, use logic. Put 2 and 2 together. The guy's attacking all parts of the field. He does it fine. But the 49ers' schematic realities, the fact that they want to rack up yards after the catch, the fact that they want to punish you, the fact that this is going on, laughter and bruises, that Deebo Samuel wants to knock people's mouth guards out. That is the 49ers style. Of course, they're going to use the middle of the field. Of course, they're going to run crossers. Of course, they're going to run slants. And, there's one more reason. Garoppolo's got one of the quickest releases in football. It's common practice if you hate Jimmy Garoppolo to be try to take away from what he does well and say, oh, the quick release doesn't really matter. That's not a, legit thing to be good at. Well, I'll tell you what, a quick release in the NFL is way more valuable than a perfect deep ball. The short game is more important than the long game in the NFL. The efficiency rates and the conversion rates for the long game, even for the very best quarterbacks, aren't high. You have to be able to deliver in the short game to win championships. Ask Russell Wilson about Malcolm Butler and the short game. You have to be able to deliver in close quarters. And Garoppolo is able to deliver in close quarters with his quick release. So schematic realities dictate so much of this. And to act otherwise is absolutely ridiculous. One big thing this year about Jimmy Garoppolo is the interception rate. It's down to 2.1%. In 2019, it was 2.7%. It was also around there, maybe even a little bit higher during the 5-game stretch in 2017, where Jimmy Garoppolo did play well, but he was still held back a bit by the picks. This is what I wrote a few weeks ago. Is 2017 Jimmy Garoppolo back? The 49ers quarterback has been even more efficient over these 5 games in 2021. Well, now it's been an 8-game sample, so this article is holding up really well, despite some flack that I took for this on social media. You could find the guy, I don't even know who it is, but if you know him, the guy who said, I don't understand the stats, we'll tell him, no, you don't understand the stats, because efficiency is not hard to gauge. You could tell him that there are feelings at play, and he's making emotional judgments on Jimmy Garoppolo, but we'll be the grown-ups over here, and we'll use facts to decide what's actually going on. And, of course, we've been right over in this corner. So it's nice to be correct about this because it's such a hot-button issue, but Garoppolo's 5-game hot stretches, this was before the most recent 3 games and before his best game yesterday, right? But the game against Atlanta, I don't think I've ever seen Garoppolo as comfortable in the pocket, and I'm even counting that game against New Orleans in 2019. But you look at the interception rate in 2017, it was 2.8%. It was high. 3 games ago, Garoppolo's down to 1.5% over his 5-game stretch. I'm going to have to add up what it is now. But over the course of the whole season, he's at 2.1%, which is lower than the 2.8, and it's now number 15 in the league, which is above average. So, I mean, he's not great as far as interception rate goes, but he's in the top half of the league. And that's exactly what Kyle Shanahan wants. And Shanahan today pointed out that Garoppolo's strength with that quick release and obviously, the 49ers schematic desires to hit the middle of the field so they could get those yards after the catch so Garoppolo can set his receivers up to punish. Shanahan actually said these words today. He said that Garoppolo can make throws that very few NFL quarterbacks can make over the middle because he's fitting the ball into tight windows with that release to set the 49ers up in their offensive scheme. And with that, there's a risk reward. The risk is a higher interception rate because he's trying to fit it through some of those linebackers. And sometimes, Bobby Wagner against Seattle will drop in to one of those throwing lanes and pick the pass off. So it's Garoppolo's job to minimize the risk, maximize the reward. And that's what he's been doing this season with that INT rate down to 2.1%. If that can continue to drop under 2, if he has another good game, another clean game on Thursday against Tennessee, another clean game against the Houston Texans, the 49ers are going to be in business entering this playoff race because this is the truth. The 49ers will go as far as Jimmy Garoppolo can take them. This is the ultimate facts over feelings situation right here. People wanted to discount Jimmy Garoppolo throughout the entire offseason. They were so excited about the shiny new toy that the 49ers got in Trey Lance, disregarding the fact that he had 318 career passes at the FCS level in college, and that this would be a long-term development process for Trey Lance. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers were upfront and honest about that the whole time. Garoppolo was the guy. In the building, Garoppolo was the guy. On this YouTube channel, in my articles, I told you guys Garoppolo was the guy. I hate to say I told you so, but I have to do it because people act like, this was a surprise. It wasn't a surprise. The 49ers knew this whole season that they would only go as far as Jimmy Garoppolo could take them. And this is a sensitive issue for people because they let their expectations be something that wasn't true, something, that wasn't reality. It wasn't going to be Trey Lance walking in and taking the starting job and the 49ers trading Jimmy Garoppolo this year. That just wasn't the case. And now I think a lot of people are having trouble, or maybe a vocal minority of people having trouble recalibrating their brains to realize, oh no, Jimmy Garoppolo is the centerpiece of what the 49ers want to do here moving forward. Quarterback is the most important position on the field. 49ers don't run for 100 plus a game if their passing offense is not efficient. That goes back to Jimmy Garoppolo. The 49ers don't overcome porous pass protection if Jimmy Garoppolo is not playing well. And they obviously are not efficient if he's throwing picks, right? So he has eliminated, or not eliminated, he's reduced the negatives, accentuated the positives. He's become efficient. And Kyle Juszczyk said it in his press conference yesterday. We're going to go as far as Jimmy takes us. And that's the truth of the matter. So you can try to downplay this as much as you want because you don't like the quarterback that's doing this for the 49ers. But again, those are your feelings speaking. The facts say otherwise. And we can go over them one more time if people want to. EPA per play since week 8. Efficiency, it's Rodgers, Garoppolo, and everybody else. And that's what this league is about. It's about finding coach, play caller. It's about finding play caller, quarterback cohesion. And the 49ers certainly have it. I don't see anybody out there saying, Rodgers only high because of Matt LaFleur. I mean, one of the reasons Rodgers is up there is because LaFleur's offensive scheme is meshing well with him. One of the reasons Garoppolo's up there is because Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme is meshing well with him. Guys, this is the goal. You try to meld with your coach's scheme and deliver the most efficient results possible. And Jimmy Garoppolo's doing that. The 49ers are winning. That's, I believe, 6 of 8 games they've won. He's playing as well, I think, as he ever has. I think back in 2017, Jimmy Garoppolo, there was a little more spontaneity to his play. The 49ers weren't as good around him. Now he's delivering it within the scheme and within the system, the structure that Kyle Shanahan has set up. So that means that the 49ers are much more geared for sustainable success, which is why you've seen this happen and seen this perpetuate itself now for 8 games? Yeah, 8 games. I mean, there was a good tweet here that I retweeted. We'll go to my Twitter and check it out. I have the graph up there right here. Most games with a 90 plus QB rating, which is a simpler stat. I don't like it as much, but it does, I think, encapsulate what's going on here in a general term. Most games with a 90 plus QB rating over the last weeks. Jimmy Garoppolo, 8 of 8. Rodgers, Burrow, Cousins, Roethlisberger, 5 of 8. So, yes, Garoppolo is red hot right now, and this is the best stretch of his career. And 49ers fans should be thankful about that because it's only good, potentially good for the 49ers. If you decide to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason because you think Trey Lance is ready, well, the fact that Garoppolo is playing like this is going to command a big trade return. If Carson Wentz was able to secure a first rounder, I think Jimmy Garoppolo will be able to too as well. Wentz is playing terrible football right now. That was one of the worst games that we've seen in recent memory on Saturday night. And he wasn't good for Philadelphia in the years leading up to the trade. So just because he's, big, strong guy with a strong arm and an impressive physique, I'm talking about Carson Wentz, that doesn't make his trade value immensely better than Jimmy Garoppolo's. It's about efficiency as a quarterback. It's about accuracy. It's about, the moxie to be able to deliver from the pocket even when it's under duress. And Garoppolo's putting all those things on film. So all of this is good for the 49ers right now. Either he's going to lead them really far into January, potentially into February, and they're going to be able to keep him. And we'll see. They haven't made up their minds yet. But that wouldn't be a bad problem to have. Tell me, I'll laugh you out the room right now if somebody says that going to a Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl because the quarterback is playing well is the problem for a franchise. That's just ridiculous talk. So either that happens or the film that Garoppolo is putting on tape right now will earn the 49ers something in a trade in the offseason. Or both will happen. But I don't think both will. I think if they make it to the Super Bowl, I think they'll keep him. But if they, there is a world in which they make it all the way and they get a boatload of picks or something in return for Garoppolo because his value would be really inflated in that case. Either way, you could see how this is a win-win-win-win situation for the 49ers. So there's no reason to be denying this now. Again, facts over feelings. Don't let your emotions get in the way. Whether you like it or not, Jimmy Garoppolo is playing well. So let's see if there's any questions here. And then I'm going to go because I have more videos to record and you should all subscribe right now. No, there are no real questions, just people arguing, which is fine. It's good. I think that hopefully I put all the questions to rest, but it's ridiculous. I've been getting attacked for it for absolutely no reason, just because I'm some kind of proxy for people. Hey, I'm sitting here fairly neutrally covering Jimmy Garoppolo. I give the numbers. I give the efficiency. When he makes a bad play, when he makes a bad throw, when he has a bad game, you hear it from me first. I had a whole detailed article about Jimmy Garoppolo's regression. I said back in January that the 49ers should draft Trey Lance. They did draft Trey Lance because I thought that Garoppolo's health was an issue. But when Garoppolo's been healthy, he's played well, and I'm not afraid to say it, even if it's not the popular thing to say on social media. A lot of people get a lot of likes. They get a lot of retweets. They get a lot of clicks by pretending that they know something about the quarterback position that they don't. And I'll leave with this one right here. It was, third down. 49ers were in their own end zone. Garoppolo had been sacked for a safety just a couple weeks earlier against Seattle when Tom Compton got destroyed by Carlos Dunlap. The goal when you're on your own end zone is to get rid of the ball. And, if you pick up the first down, great, but you need to find some room for your punter, especially behind a bad offensive line. A tweet goes viral showing, George Kittle was open over the middle of the field. Okay, I'm happy that and I hope that whoever put that clip out got their likes and their retweets and their social media clout. But they also broadcast to me that they know nothing about quarterback progressions or quarterback play or anything about basic 101 football. When you're operating from your own end zone behind a compromised offensive line, especially early in the game when you're trying to set some kind of tone, you go to your first open read. You don't wait to scan back across the field, and that's where George Kittle was, at risk of taking a sack and a safety. And that's what happened to the 49ers against Seattle. Although Garoppolo didn't have a chance to even go to his first read in that game. Compton got beaten right away by Dunlap. You go to the play that's open first, and Juszczyk was open, and he hit him. The 49ers got some room to punt. And guess what? That's winning football. The game ended up a 31-13 win for the 49ers. Garoppolo didn't risk getting blown up in the backfield. This isn't Madden. This is real NFL ball, and Garoppolo's been winning games with good decisions like that. That was his 30th win as the starting quarterback for the 49ers. He's 30-13, 32-13 if you count 2 wins with the Patriots. It's a 700 career win percentage. I give you guys the advanced stats, and I give you the simple ones. And guess what? Wins are the goal. Garoppolo has been able to lead the 49ers to wins, and he's been able to lead the 49ers to wins because he's efficient when it matters, and that's where the advanced stats fill in the blanks. All right, everybody, have a good day. Subscribe to the channel. More content coming really soon. Everybody take care.